Now I want to jump to another big story we're covering. Yesterday's seizure of 2 oil tankers. You're looking at CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata in our DC bureau. Charlie, I know you've had a busy 24 hours, as if you've ever had a calm 24 hours. Good morning to you and welcome. So what are we learning today about these, I guess, what were dual operations from yesterday?
Yeah, dual operations is a good way to describe it, Daryl. So we had 2 different seizures of 2 very different oil tankers. I'll start with the Bello 1. Now, this was a tanker that was flagged with a Russian flag. And that is important to note because the Russians sort of re-registered that tanker in order to provide, I guess, a level of deterrence or to keep the United States from seizing that tanker. And we know that the Russians also sped a submarine to that area in order to escort it back. And that happened in the North Sea. But this is a tanker that the United States has been tracking for weeks. As a matter of fact, I think they tried to get it in the Caribbean December 21st. And what you saw were Special Forces, Navy SEALs that took over that particular tanker. Now, you move a little bit further west, and we're talking about the second tanker, the Sophia. Now, this all happened roughly the same time. That was a more, I guess, what you would call a traditional seizure, where you had U.S. Coast Guard Special Forces who seized that tanker. Again, both of these tankers were flagged because they were seen to be illegally transporting oil between Venezuela and, in this case, Iran. The Russians decided to start flagging some of these ships, not just that tanker that has been confiscated or captured, but a number of tankers that are in the waters off the coast of Venezuela, again, as a message, as a deterrent. But Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth said, look, there is more of this to come.
The oil blockade, the quarantine of oil out of unsanctioned or sanctioned or stateless vessels continues. That leverage will continue, as Secretary Rubio outlined. So our military is prepared to continue this.
Yeah, the military is prepared to continue it, and they have a massive presence there. You know, we've been talking, Errol, for weeks and months about this huge military buildup, and even after the capture of Nicolas Maduro out of Venezuela, that massive military buildup remains.
Yeah, President Trump also saying that the U.S. involvement there could be years on from now. Charlie D'Agata, with all of that, thank you so much.